Hey guys, this is Greg, Danny, and Joe from Ritual Gaming, and we are back to bring you episode 12, and we are officially calling it Dooku Dodge This. Today we're going to be starting with our Wish Upon a Star that we couldn't finish off on episode 11, and if you haven't caught episode 11, I think, it's a pretty good episode. We really enjoyed doing it. We had a special guest on, so you should go back and check that out. It was Grande Patron, the leader of our guild. So the Wish Upon a Star that we didn't finish up was basically what is one Han Solo ability that you would create if you had control of it. So Danny, I'm going to throw it to you. What's your ability that you would choose?
Well, his ability would be a unique ability. I'm calling it Co-Pilot. So it's something in terms of that game Puzzle and Dragons, which we've talked about numerous times.
Mm-hmm. I've heard that's a cell phone game all of us used to play.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so you'd have a bonus for having a particular member on your team. For example, say, okay, you were to have Chewbacca, then you get a 50% extra assist chance every time you attack. And if you'd have Luke, then it's like 75, or Old Ben, it's like 100 or something. But, I mean, that's a lot of assist attacks, but at the same time, you're kind of sacrificing synergy in all other aspects of the game. So I don't think it's like a broken idea.
Right. Yeah, that sounds cool. Like the more bro-y Han Solo was with the unit or the character, the higher chance for assist. That's pretty cool.
The more you're recreating episode 4, the more you win.
Yeah, I kind of feel like throughout the game that would be a pretty cool thing to have. Just like, obviously we have the classifications of characters like Resistance, Rebel, Sith, Empire and stuff, but like something a little bit more specific to particular movies, like if we ever get old Han, like, and you put him with Rey, it suddenly becomes something better, or, just some kind of, if you put like Leia with old Luke, they just start making out or whatever. It's just something that like just throws back to a specific point in a specific movie, like you say with Chewbacca and Han, who are just always side by side.
I think too, people definitely want stuff like that because, which I forget, it was one of the new missions where, it was the Ewok mission where the general guy talks to you and he says, you won't take this planet back or whatever. It's like a really small bit of dialogue. I remember seeing a bunch of people online talking about it, being like, this is great, this is amazing. But, I mean, it was cool. I liked it too, but it shows that there's definitely more space to expand with that and people would be excited about it, right?
Putting in more of a story mode or story aspects of the game, yeah.
Yeah. It's funny, actually.
Yeah, like even if the regular light side and dark side battles were just a little bit more themed than they already are. Like, obviously you get a location and they bung a bunch of enemies that you might find at that location in the level. But if there was just some little pop-up dialogue boxes that are just recreating battles from the movies and stuff like that, it could be, just add a little bit.
Even just at the end of each level 1, like level 1, level 2, the final level of each big level, then you can have like some sort of thing like that. That would be cool.
Like the boss level, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Mine actually was kind of story driven too. So I would have it as a unique, and I would call it Checkered Past. And basically anytime you beat another team in Arena that had any bounty hunters or kind of like slime balls or anything like scoundrels on it, then in your mailbox, once you had beaten that team, a mysterious kind of guy would send you credits for killing them or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really like fully think it out, but it's not a ton of credits or anything like that, but just something like that. Like it's kind of.
But it's cool because it goes past the match and carries on to your game. I don't know. It's just one of those things that like sews the game together, and that'd be fun.
It's just flavor, It just makes it all seem more fun.
Exactly. Yeah. All right. So we got that one covered. Let's go on to our next topic, and Yoda is back. So we've all been waiting for a while for Yoda to get back. I know I have. I've been really kind of eagerly anticipating it because at first I wasn't really thinking about getting him, but all of a sudden, as soon as we started raiding, and especially in Tier 6, I thought, man, I want Yoda real bad.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, what about you? When this event came back, were you using it?
Yes. I already have a 6-star Yoda. I've had him for since the last event. And I use him a lot in the raid. He's super handy, and he's just sort of character you can build a whole team around in the raid. And so yeah, I'm just currently struggling up against 7-star right now because that is one heck of a battle. That is hard. It's probably the hardest thing I've attempted to do in the game so far. And so as a result, it's only been out, Yoda's only been open for about 12 or 16 hours today. And if you're particularly observant, you might notice that I look a little bit rubbish today because I've been sick all day. So I haven't really been playing much, but gosh, that 7-star, I've maybe tried it 20 or 30 times and just got stomped every time.
Wow.
Yep.
And your idea of not playing much is 20 or 30 times.
over the course of 10 hours, yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but I mean, once you get them to 7 stars, that's it. I mean, I really like to, because I had never done the challenges, and then they give you the money too to upgrade him. I didn't even, I got him to 6 stars, but I just took the 750,000 that they give you and upgraded to somebody else.
Yeah, and then at 7-star you get 1 million, and then you also get the achievement, which gives you another 500,000 plus some Vader shards, plus
That's
like
awesome.
150 or 200 crystals. So, to get that, I had to get Ep.12 to 7-star and up to scratch. So
Yeah.
so it's really an appropriate payoff. But
Paying to get to that guy to like 6 or 7 stars is so painful.
yep, I did it
Why?
yesterday.
Why?
Yesterday, I spent 1 million juicy credits just getting him a 7-star, and now I can't beat the thing. So I've got to spend all my credits for the next couple of days just eking my Jedis up because they're all in the sort of low 70s. So apart from Lumi and Qui-Gon, who are pretty much at max. But yeah, in that 7-star mode, it's no joke. Go out and look up some strategies because you're not just going to go in there with a team of Jedis and just win. You simply
You went in there with the team of Yodas, it might be better.
If I had a team of Yodas, though, I might stand a chance.
It'd be like the Chief Chirpa team when he calls all the little Ewoks, but the Yodas are all flinging around there and stuff. It'd look really funny.
Yeah. Well, it really makes you think because now it's actually, since the update, it might even be harder than it was before because prior to this, Yoda couldn't. The problem with this is you can't really use any of your buffs or abilities because Yoda will just steal them. So if Yoda can already one-shot my JC with his basic attack, and then if you use Qui-Gon's ability to remove buffs from him or any of the other characters, of course he gives you a fence up, and then Yoda steals your offense up and uses it against you, and kills even Barriss in one shot. And then on top of that, since the update, Yoda's been able to steal Lumi's passive heal, the beginning of turn heal. You know, the one she gets after she heals. That little.
Oh yeah.
Are there any Jedis who stun?
Ep.12, but he just doesn't stick anything.
Yeah.
So he steals that, and when Yoda uses the heal at the beginning of your turn, he heals for 15k.
Wow.
You heal for about 1,000.
Yeah.
So basically, if you let him get that off of Lumi, you've lost. If you let him get a fence up off of Qui-Gon, you've lost. If you don't kill the characters side by side to either side of him, you've lost. It's really tough.
Huh. I'm not aiming for it anytime soon.
Yes.
As long as we're on tier 6, I just care about 6-star characters right now.
Yeah, I'm sure I can get there and just get that perfect run where everything goes my way. Couple of helpful dodges or something, and then I nearly had him today. I had him down to about 25% health. But he also another thing, he gets Maul's ability where when he kills someone, he goes back again and he goes back again. So if he kills my JC, who's got the lowest HP out of my characters, he then goes back and hits someone else, and if he kills them, he goes back and hits again. And just, at one point I had him on his own at 25%, and he killed 3 out of the 5 members of my team and then wiped the rest out.
Damn.
It's hard.
Huh.
In time.
Are you working on it too?
Yes, slowly though. I just finally unlocked him today. So he's only at his 5-star or whatever. But I haven't really been working too much on a lot of my Jedis, so soon enough I'll have a 6-star, and then I'm just not really going to fight too hard for a 7. But yeah, eventually, yes, I do want him.
I think it'd be nice to have 7. I see him in Arena on some pretty good teams. But
Definitely.
yeah, it's for me right now too. I'm not that heavily invested in Jedis in the first place. I think if I had like 3 out of 5 Jedis already at 7 stars, then I might do it. But yeah, I just opened him at 6, and I think I'll just keep him there for now because he's good for the raid.
Well, yeah, once you start using him in the raid, you'll want him at 7-star immediately.
Oh, yeah, you
He's
think so?
probably, I would say he's a top 10 raid character.
Wow.
Yeah, you're dealing
He's
tons of damage with him, eh?
Yeah, I put what I tend to do is put my like level 53 T-Bow with him and a few of my leftover DPS guys who aren't as good as my main DPS guys, and still get 150, 200k.
Wow.
Is all he does is he gets only on certain phases. You can't use him on phase 1; he's useless. Phase 2, but on phase 3 and phase 4, he's handy. You just spread foresight to the whole team, so when the Rancor does his AOE, he hits no one. You just got to time it.
Huh. Yeah, that's exactly how I wanted to use him. I want to bypass one of those AoEs, and especially the healing immunity that it causes.
Mm-hmm. And then if you've got other guys on your like he does a couple of other things as well. Like he puts the tenacity up so that you don't get the healing immunity,
Oh, yeah, right.
yeah, and he puts so he does all sorts of fun stuff, which just makes a really. I mean, I sent you guys a screenshot earlier. No one was above like level 71 or something, and it's just like the odds and ends of random players I had, but with the T-Bow and Yoda, and it was like almost doing as much as my A team.
Wow. I have the T-Bow too. I definitely need to throw him in there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
Huh. Well, I guess so.
He
We're all
starts
pretty
doing his
glad
stomps.
that he came back.
Yeah, he's definitely having.
I don't think we would have cared before raiding started.
Yeah, no, after raids, he's now a major player that's very interesting to get.
So let's talk about now the Omega upgrades, or the Omega ability upgrades. We obviously farmed them during the event, and you guys got a heck of a lot more than I did, which I am still quite jealous of. However, we've all kind of used them in dribs and drabs so far. Danny, who have you put them into?
Well, I put him into 86 is primary and his secondary. I put him into Genosian Soldier's secondary, and regrettably I put him into what's his name? The old Genosian Soldier.
Poggle?
Yeah, Poggle. That's his name. Couldn't think of his name. Yeah, I put him into his primary. And
what does his primary do with
I can't even remember, man. Or maybe it was, I don't know, something foolish like that. It's just like, why did I do that? And then 86's, or 88's primary, and I still have like 5 left, so I think I'm saving that for HK. It's leader skill.
Yeah, the HK leader skill is huge, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure we said that earlier. Joe, what about you?
Same as Danny. I did both of 86's primary and secondary, and Genosian's secondary. And then I did, what did I do? I did Qui-Gon Jinn's primary for the raid. So he removes 30% turn meter when he uses his primary attack. And that's it.
Do you use his second special then? Or what's it called, like Special 3, I guess? The one that dispels buffs?
Absolutely. On phase 1, it's crucial.
Oh, sure, on phase 1. But then if you bring him into phase 2, you probably just use his assist and then his primary, right?
Yeah, exactly. It just means when you're up against the Rancor, turn meter is huge, right? Because you just, with T-Bow and Qui-Gon Jinn in the same team, you can often get like 3 rounds of attacks in without the Rancor's health bar filling up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
and so even though they're not the biggest attacks in the world, yeah, you get speed down. It's great.
I put mine into the IG-86 assist and then ran out. I definitely should have farmed that event more.
I told you, man. I was like,
I know. I know. I really regret it.
400 crystals a day or something.
Yeah. But we were talking about earlier, how are we going to get these once people get to level 80? And it seems the word on the street is it's 1 a day, basically. Once you finish all your tasks for the day or your daily challenges or whatever they're called.
At level 80, yeah.
At level 80, yeah. Then you get 1 Omega ability.
Yeah, it even
Which
says
I can't wait
so.
for now because I'm left with 4, so I'm currently 4.
Awesome.
It even says so if you click on the Omega ability mat from a character. So
Oh, okay.
if you don't trust us, you can try yourself, and you'll see that we are correct.
So it really seems like once people hit 80 and, kind of everything's going on and people have a couple weeks, you'll see a lot of characters really like maxed out with their Omega stuff. I'm not looking forward to seeing Ray's like Gear 10 maxed out with Omega and stuff like that. I don't even know what Omega does, but I bet you it's gnarly.
It's just awful. Something awful. It's
Yeah.
just like
She decapitates the person with her thing.
Yeah.
She gets an extra like blade attachment for her staff.
Yeah. If she dodges once, you lose the game. That's it.
You just get kicked out immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be really cool. I'm glad that they've come out with a way where, you're not getting them super fast, but it's not too slow because you don't need a ton of them right away, right? Like
no, I think it's perfect. Yeah.
yeah, it's going to be good. And obviously we're all excited to get those into HK47 so we can bring back droids.
Yeah.
But I think we should talk about that a little bit later. So, in a lot of our most recent episodes, we've kind of skipped over some characters that have been released, partly because we hadn't really talked about them very much between ourselves, so we figured we'd just wait until later, and also partly because nobody was playing them in Arena, and we really like Arena and we focus on it. So now we're going to kind of try and cover some old ground, and we're going to talk about Wedge and Sun Fac. So the first thing with Wedge is he's an attacker, right? Do either of you guys have him? I don't think so, right?
No.
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 Yeah,
I've
neither
faced
do I.
him, and it's not fun.
Yeah. So what was your experience facing him, Joe?
So someone on my server is running essentially that Akbar team you'd see going around, with Stormtrooper Han, Hoth Rebel Pilot, Hoth Rebel Trooper, sorry, Rey, and all the rest anyway. They're a really horrible team that you never want to fight. And they've just put Wedge in place of Akbar, and it seems to be even more speedy and devastating.
Yeah, I like your screenshots. How it was just empty on your side and totally full health bars and everything on his.
I've fought it twice, and I lose with them barely getting a scratch every single time. So I've just stopped playing that guy.
So I just stopped playing with that guy. So they're using Wedge more for his leader ability than anything else. It seems there, right?
Yeah, his leader ability, and then once he's up and running, a few of his uniques and stuff just again give a bit more defense and stuff like that. They just make everything a little bit more annoying. That one shot where you could kill Rey doesn't, everything just is a little bit harder, and it's no fun at all.
Yeah, and his basic does inflict defense down, right? So
Yeah.
that's pretty good. And I mean, if he is running with Rey, pretty sure if you have defense down on any target and Rey attacks it, it'll just incinerate into the air,
Yeah.
into
That's it,
dust.
yeah.
Your phone will blow up.
Yeah. Even like pretty much maxed out Royal Guard just explodes.
Wow. There's a guy on Reddit that's been doing some character discussions and putting out kind of semi-articles. His Reddit name is, I wrote it down here, PCX99, and his YouTube name is Patrick Hunlock. And man, I like your stuff. It is very good, and I definitely used it for some of the information in the show, so I just wanted to give that guy a shout out because, man, the way this guy organizes, the way he organizes his articles on Reddit too are great, where he discusses what the character is good at, has a video clip of just, no talking or anything, just the one arena match of, demonstrating what he was good at, and then another demonstrating of, what it's bad at, and everything like that. So it's great. And Patrick, if you ever want to come on the show, we'd love to have you to do maybe some in-depth arena talk. That would be cool.
So his videos have no talking?
No, it's just...
Good, I hate YouTube videos where they just talk.
I know, exactly. Just yap, but one of the things that in his article he was describing was that when Wedge gets up to Gear 9 with the Furnace, he still only has 21k health and protection. So, I mean, if you're using him as a lead, that would make sense because you're just trying to take, advantage of his leader ability. However, as just a kind of attacker, doesn't really seem like he's going to pump out enough damage to make it worthwhile running, especially in the current meta, right? Which is much more tanky oriented. But maybe once everyone gets to 80, we'll see. I don't know. What do you think, Danny?
Yeah, I think we just gotta wait for 80, but honestly, the only kind of knowledge I have about him is exactly what Joe was just saying, and it just doesn't sound fun to fight against. So, kind of makes me want to build a team with him.
You gotta buy him.
Yeah, no, he's very, yeah, that's exactly it.
I think too, he's in such a niche position with just really leading that team or being an okay DPS that who's really gonna pick him up right now? Maybe
Yeah, exactly.
if we see things, change.
But I mean, I remember seeing him and I thought, because I've always wanted to build a rebel team, and I just thought, yes, another rebel. Like, I like that they're adding more rebels. That's what I like about him, basically.
Yeah. All right, well, let's talk about another tribal group that they're adding to, and that is the Geonosians. So we have Sun Fac that came out, and we haven't really talked about Sun Fac in any of our episodes. Man, Sun Fac seems so cool. I want him so bad.
Yeah.
What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, he looks really powerful, and his primary just looks a little insane. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having him, but I don't have $1 billion, so.
Yeah, that is. We definitely spend our money in different ways. I think too with his kit, man. When they were thinking of his kit, they must have been like in the group meeting, like, what do you guys want him to do? A little bit of everything that's really, really good. Can we have that? It's crazy.
Yeah, I like his primary takes away taunts and positive status effects.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it would be really cool to have some team in the first phase of raids, right? Somebody like Fac and Plo Koon and Qui-Gon. This is just like continually denying taunts and just hammer down the middle guy.
Yeah, completely ignore the pigs.
Because Plo Koon, his regular attack also removes taunts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this guy too, when he uses his basic, he regains 15% or 20% with Omega buff of his max health, which is, I mean, that's nothing to laugh at, right? That's a self-heal.
Yeah, that's really cool. What other things? I don't have it up on
so
here.
His special, okay, so his basic we discussed. His special one is taunt for 2 turns and inflict offense down on the target. So you actually get to choose, which I think is cool. On the target for 1 turn or 2 turns with Omega, and a 55% chance to remove 40% turn meter. So not only you're inflicting offense down, you're also having a chance at removing 40% turn meter. That's insane. That's great. And then special 2 is deal physical damage and recover 25% of max health if the target is suffering from any negative status effects. His unique or passive is 50% counter chance with 15% more damage and inflicts critical chance down for 2 turns when he attacks outside of his turn. So, I mean, there's definitely some synergy there with Assists and Phasma. And yeah, it just seems like all of his stuff is so good.
Do you know how tanky he is?
He's pretty tanky.
Yeah.
I didn't write it down. He's although, and another again shout out to Patrick. He did note that he's kind of like a tankier version of Qui-Gon Jinn, which is pretty cool. And like, man, there's so many different ways to use this guy too. And taunt is so strong in arena right now.
Yeah.
And he has a chance to counterattack, which is great. Now, what I'm wondering, I wonder when he counterattacks, do you think his basic goes off and can remove positive effects?
Yes, I think so.
That's insane.
Because I've seen that happen with Plo Koon.
Oh yeah.
When he gets called for an assist.
Against Royal Guard.
Or against anybody, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's cool.
Joe, are you okay?
I'm hanging in.
All right.
Yeah.
Joe is very sick, so he's doing this show out of the
We
time
forced
of
him
his
to do this.
All right, so I think he's going to be great. I'm glad we touched on him, but obviously none of us really know too much about him because I've never seen him once in the game, and I definitely don't know him. So I'd love to see some more footage of him and kind of see where it goes. And yeah. So, okay, those were the characters that we missed. And now, one character that we've already talked about a little bit, but I kind of want to throw it back to you, and we have been seeing a little emergence, especially in one of your shards, I forget which one, is Rex. So, Joe, is it your server that you have a Rex lead?
No, there's, there's not many Rex leads on my server.
Oh, so Danny, it's
That's
yours,
mine, yes.
right? So what's the team where they're running Rex?
So it's he's just taken rank 1 for the last like week. It's insane.
Okay.
But yeah, his Rex is like gear level 10, I think, and so he's got Rex, 5s. Shit, I'll pull it up. Talk about Rex a little bit, and I'll pull it up.
Okay. Well, I'll just remind people of his leader ability. So his leader ability is clone allies gain 20% max health, and all other allies get half of that. In addition, when an ally suffers a critical hit, all clone allies gain 15% turn meter, and other allies get half of that. I think this just sums up the meta that someone is actually using this when there aren't that many other clone guys, right? There's like one, and
one other good one.
Yeah, one other really good one, yeah. Oh, and one on this team that you're describing. But I think it just sums up the meta perfectly right now, because if you're not even using his full leader ability, most of your team is only getting half that, and it's still good enough to run it. I mean,
Yeah.
that's crazy, right?
So this is the team. He's got Rex in lead. He's got Plo Koon, RG, Leia, and 5s.
Okay. So he can get rid of taunts.
Yeah.
5s just hangs around until you inevitably have 4 people to try and kill him, and he might kill those 4 people.
Yeah.
Leia does a ton of damage, and Rex,
And she'll never get hit because I think her what do you call it? When she like
Stealth?
goes invincible. Yeah, stealth. I'm so good with words today.
Yeah.
I think her stealth is like forever now.
No, she comes out. I definitely just played her today, and she was coming out. She was popping out every once in a while.
At gear level 10, she can pretty much permanently stealth. I've got one on my server. The guy running the Wedge team has a gear 10
Yeah.
Leia, and she
Yeah,
stays
that's
in.
what I
So you,
thought I heard that, yeah.
yeah, you have to finish her last.
God, that's terrible. And
And
she does so much
Plo
damage.
Koon has a lot of clone synergy.
Huh.
Yeah.
Wait, doesn't 5s then too? Is 5s clones?
Yeah, 5's a clone.
So it is more than half his team, actually. I guess I'm kind of
No,
exaggerating.
there's only 2 clones on his team, but Plo Koon has clone synergy. He's not a clone himself.
No one really uses him though.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
clone his special is clone allies gain 50% turn meter when he uses this. And I think the cooldown's like nothing. So basically, it's just always attacking. And that's whenever I fight that team, they're just always attacking.
Because Leia does like a bunch of shots.
Yeah.
5's
Yeah.
countering
Bunch of
everything you.
shots.
Leia's 5's is doing double counters all the time, and yeah.
Yeah. And he's hitting
Sounds gross.
hard too, you know?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not
Yeah,
it's not a soft
like
little
5K.
counter. Yeah.
5s
Yeah.
are just out of control right now, that's for sure. Okay, this kind of moves on then into our next segment, which is this episode's It's More Than a Feeling. And Joe titled it Dodge is Getting Out of Control, or maybe I did. I don't know. I can't remember. I'm a little tired also. But is Dodge getting completely out of control? It kind of feels like it is. I'm definitely guilty of abusing it. I am running a Dooku lead with RG and Daka, basically the sleaziest team possible, minus Rey because I can't get her. But Joe, what do you think? Is Dodge just getting out of control right now?
Yeah, I think just fundamentally as a game mechanic, it's sort of been broken from the start, and now that they've released characters that can exploit it, it's just more finely in focus. I mean, as a passive ability, that essentially has the same effect as stun, but you don't have to do anything. It's like how everyone gets excited when RG puts his taunt off for nothing. When you run a Dooku lead, you give your entire team a pretty good chance to do the equivalent of a stun, to remove a turn from an opponent player.
Yeah.
At any time. And it happens every game, every other turn, really. So it just takes a lot of the tactics out of the game, because you come up against a team, you know where their weakness is, you know where their strength is, and then you plan your attack based on that, and then there's one dodge, and then any tactic that you may have tried to implement is just gone because, I don't know, some big taunter dodged you 4 times, like Royal Guard dodges you 4 times in a row when you're trying to hack him down or something like that. And I think it's the fact that neither player has agency over it, and so it's just a kind of a bit of a dodgy, broken mechanic. Like if it was something you had to activate, like a buff, it would make it like Lumis. It would make a lot more sense. But as a passive skill, it's just a little bit broken. And I wish they would go kind of full League of Legends and just get rid of it.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely getting to the point too where I don't know if it's one of those like kind of bias confirmation things, or where I see people that aren't even running Dooku leads or not Old Ben leads or whatever. They're running like Qui-Gon leads or Phasma leads or something, and they're just consistently dodging over and over and over again. And I think too the tanky meta really kind of exacerbates that idea, where if you do miss, especially some of your heavy hitting attacks, then you're just so far behind. You know, it doesn't even feel like missing 1 turn. It feels like missing 2 turns almost. Like it's
because it's stun makes sense because you have a player with this ability. You use their ability that stuns, and you hope that you get it. And when you do, your tactics change. You know, and it's fun, and it's like an actual game. Whereas dodge is more like if everyone could just stun when you touch them, like they're all standing around in a pool of water with a cable draped across it. You know, it's a bit stupid.
Yeah, and I mean, thankfully they haven't made anything where you can stun someone and it lasts more than 1 turn, which is very good right now. But the thing about dodge is, you know, you can attack somebody with 2 assists and another guy, and they can dodge 5 times in a row. And I think that's just a bit silly. Like, who's that fast in real life? You know what I mean?
Like half your characters in Matrix style, like bullet dodging things, lightsabers and replace of bullets, you know?
Flying all
in
over
real
the
life.
place.
You like how I referred to, related this game to real life? Like, come on, guys, be more like real life.
In real life, I only dodge like the first 2 lightsabers.
Yeah.
And then the laser gun usually gets me.
I feel like too it would probably discourage people from continuing to play the game after a while if it stays this way. Yeah, it's really frustrating. It's definitely, I mean, lots of people complain about lots of different things in the game. However, it definitely feels like it doesn't seem that difficult to fix. And so let's discuss that. Our Wish Upon a Star for this episode, which we will actually do for this episode, is how are we going to fix dodge? And if we're given control of the game, which, I mean, let's be honest, they should, right? Because what are we on, episode 12? This is just consistent gold. We're spouting, you know?
We're definitely on the radar.
Yeah, Jesse, you know, just whenever you want to hand over those controls. So how would we fix it? Now, Danny, we'll start with you.
Okay. Well, I think the mechanic's fine. I don't agree with Joe that they should get rid of it, because it's kind of cool in a way. But I think that they should just make it work properly. For example, you know, the old Ben and Dooku, it says 16% chance of evasion or dodging, right? In reality, I mean, it might be more than a feeling, is that it's actually like 88% or something. It's just getting ridiculous. It's not 16%, so maybe try and look at that and rework it, or just make it actually say 88 instead of 16. Whatever you want to do.
Just
don't
so
lie.
we know. Just be honest.
Yeah, just be honest. And also, my main irritation, and I've been irritated by this since basically the game started, is that if someone is stunned, why are they dodging? That is ridiculous. And, you know, I'm not a stun-based comp. I don't play mini stun-based comps much like Greg is doing now, which is cool. I want
to
that.
put me on blast there, huh?
No, I think it's a great comp, and I want to do it. But, you know, if I'm landing a stun, especially on somebody like Ray, who's just going to one-shot a lot of my guys, thankfully, I landed that stun. But then next turn, I'm like, cool, I'm going to assist attack her and hopefully get her down a bit so she doesn't do so much damage. and then she dodges twice and she's stunned, that just is the most frustrating feeling in the world.
Yeah, and if they dodge the
Doesn't make
first
sense.
one, they automatically dodge the second one as well.
And I've wasted
Yeah.
like 3 turns in a row, you know?
Yeah.
It's stupid.
I don't understand why they dodged the second one. If they dodged the first one, it should be like a refreshed thing. It shouldn't be considered the same attack in my mind.
Mm.
Well, it's not. It's two
No, no,
different
no.
people separately attacking.
No.
I know. Well, yeah,
Definitely
exactly.
happens sometimes.
Yeah, that's what
No.
that's what I mean.
If the first one is dodged, the second one is always dodged.
Always dodged. Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
Is
never
it?
hit.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's one of the most frustrating parts of it.
Are you sure?
Yeah,
I would say I'm 99% sure.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it in writing, but it's every time, right? You stun that ray, and then you get your Genosian soldier do the assist attack, and then he calls the absolute perfect guy, and they both dodge. And then
Then
it's just
now I'm
great.
even more frustrated. It's just, yeah.
It's
I am
yeah, I mean,
steamed.
I kind of got ranting about it before we got into this, but it's like you said with the people being stunned, being able to dodge. Like a long time ago, I kind of said that people should never be able to be called for assists when they're stunned.
Yeah.
And I remember you guys kind of going like, yeah, but it just kind of that would kind of make stun too weak, and then they did it, and it's not weak,
Yeah.
and.
It's not weak at
I
all.
think they severely need to, like, for me, I say get rid of it, because I just think, or at least get rid of it as a passive ability. If it's a buff that you activate and you have heightened dodge, sort of like Lumi, for a set amount of turns, and there's an indicator that that's happening, and you can adjust your tactics to it, then it's an addition to the game which creates a new layer of tactics and makes a better game. But as a passive ability, it's just broke. Just get rid of it.
I think I definitely agree with you, Joe, in how, say, for example, stuns, you can react to them. It becomes part of your strategy. And if they did get rid of it, then, yeah, it's you would never have to be trying to implement a strategy and then just have that taken away from you by sheer luck, right? And I agree with you, too, Danny, where if it was just a bit lower, it's definitely not 16%. It can't be. I would eat my hat if it was actually 16%, because the amount of times I've seen dodge in arena, like now it comes down to obviously it's a tankier meta, so there are more shots in general that are going on, right? So more chances to miss. However, like sometimes with you got 2 guys left in arena, you just have to autoplay because you're like, wow, I only have 2 minutes left. I might not be able to kill these guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Depending on how many
Yeah.
dodges there are.
If you leave old Ben up on its own, I remember there was one game I was looking over your shoulder while you were playing, and it took you a minute on autoplay with a full team to take him down,
To kill
because he
old
dodged
Ben.
something like 12 shots in a row. We were counting them. It's like, that's not 16%.
Yeah.
That's bordering on 100%.
Yeah.
I like to imagine too with him, like his broken ass old body just dancing around and stuff,
I mean, look at Yoda.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, so my
Looks like a
idea
boot.
for how to fix dodge is kind of taken a little bit from WoW Arena, World of Warcraft Arena. So if you guys ever played that, then you'll know kind of the idea I'm going for here. And it would be to give dodge a diminishing return. So if a character dodged, like you could keep it as a passive, right? Because for some reason it seems like a lot of these companies really want to keep in these kind of like fluky parts to the game, right? So if it had to be kept in, give it a diminishing return, and then the first time a character dodges, okay, they dodge everything. Then the second time a character dodges, they only dodge 75% of the damage. The third time they dodge, they only dodge 50% of the damage. And then the fourth time, they cannot dodge anymore for the rest of the arena match or the raid or anything like that. And then there, at least when it does happen, you can plan around it. Because even if it happens the next time, you can guess about the amount of damage you would do to them.
Yeah, you're dodging damage rather than a full attack, which is
it's like you got to graze across the shoulder as opposed to just bearing the full brunt of the blaster.
Yeah. And obviously,
Yeah, I mean,
with stuns
it would-
or something like that, then they can't hit. But just for damage, I think that would actually turn it around.
Yeah, I mean, if this was something that was also activated by the player and not passive, because my real big complaint with it is that it's passive.
Mm-hmm.
That's my biggest issue with it. It's like when you're fighting the Rancor and he's squashed by the door, and he's still got a passive chance to dodge that, and it's just hard coded into the game in such a way that they got rid of the door panel dodging finally, but if the door panel's dodging and the Rancor can dodge with the stun on his head, it's no wonder that when you go into arena and face a team of Dooku and his buddies that they're dodging like crazy. Clearly the algorithm is all out of whack.
How
I think
hammered
a good rule of thumb is if a character has fingers the size of your characters in your team, such as the Rancor, they're not allowed to dodge.
No.
How
That's a
hammered
fair
are the
rule as
Jedis
well.
that are going in there with their lightsabers
yeah.
missing this guy, being like, "Oh God, I'm sorry, guys," and letting the team.
Well,
down.
they are playing video games in a cantina technically. If you break the fourth wall on it, we're just in a cantina all playing video games.
Just
So maybe
holograms, yeah.
Yeah.
maybe they all just got wrecked at the bar and now they just.
That's true. It's a cantina after all. Yeah.
It's just one game of quarters to them.
Yeah, it's like when you go and decide to play a game of pool, and the first game you're really good, and then like 2 special beverages later you're just useless.
Yeah, 2 juices later.
Couple of juices.
Yeah. All right, so I think this is a good time to cut it. But before we go, I want to propose a question to you guys. If you were going to change dodge, how would you do it? How would you approach it? Do you cut it like Joe wants to? Do you want to keep it in the game as a passive like Danny wants to? You thinking about diminishing returns like me, or do you have a totally different idea? We'd love to hear it, because I think this actually is an important issue to discuss, because it definitely is kind of at the forefront of the game right now in all sections, in PvE, PvP, the raids, all that stuff. So let us know what you think. This is Greg, Danny, and Joe from Ritual Gaming, and we will see you next time for episode 13.